Easily one of the concept cars of the show, the Genesis Essentia, drew pandemonium last night when the covers were finally taken off. Today we're going to have a chat to Genesis designer Sasha Selipanov, who's going to walk us through some of the design elements in this incredible looking car. So tell us the inspiration behind this design.
Inspiration is very obvious. We wanted to create an aspirational product for the brand. We wanted to create something that will inspire and motivate people and also show our ambition as a brand to the audience. And what is the inspiration? GT as a concept is more or less a timeless idea, you know, cruising and enjoying the drive. But what is the new interpretation of that? What could be a modern take on a classical subject? A car with plenty of style, plenty of presence, beauty. However, we're a new brand, so we cannot look back on our heritage. We have to create something that looks towards the future.
Now, you're a man that has history with sports cars. You've worked on cars like a Lambo Huracan, Bugatti Chiron. Is it hard to draw on those types of designs to then create something for a company that really doesn't have any heritage in this space?
No, it actually feels very liberating, to be honest. I'm a big fan of those brands you just mentioned, and it was an honor contributing to them, but it feels so liberating to start from a clean sheet of paper and to not have to look back on a 100-year history and to not think of what would the founder have done. But this time around, we are the ones creating the story. It's our narrative to tell, and it feels like a big honor, actually.
Now, yesterday when this car was unveiled, it was pandemonium. There were people everywhere. People are going crazy over the design. Do you think there's a chance we'll see this finally come into production?
Wrong question to ask a designer, but I certainly would very much dream of it. However, the future plans and the intentions of the company are not for me to discuss, and I don't have anything to confirm today.
Well, it was worth a shot. Tell me about the wheels. Now, the wheels aren't just your standard alloy wheels. What's so special about these?
Yeah, so Genesis has made the copper our material. We have extensively used it on the show stand. We use it on our business cards as well. It's a subtle, sort of tasteful trademark of our brand. And it was actually Luc Donkerwolke's idea. He said, why don't we just go ahead and do wheels and coat them in copper? And it was a tremendous task. It just took a lot of effort from the team, especially the manufacturing team, to get the quality that we would all expect from that. But I'm really happy we did it. It gives the car a very unique presence.
And we're talking about 1 week per wheel to polish them to that standard.
That's right. It really took a lot of effort. Definitely.
That is incredible. Now, one of the questions we've been asked is, this is obviously an electric concept. Why do you need such a long bonnet where you would traditionally have an internal combustion engine?
Absolutely the right question to ask. I think the GTs, they live off of their proportions. And for me, actually, the length of the bonnet is actually less important than the height of the roofline. This is really important. The GT is a low, sleek vehicle. But if you're trying to make a low, sleek vehicle with an electric battery pack underneath it, you run into the problem of the battery pack's height. So the decision that we made early on in the project was to investigate the so-called I-shape layout for the batteries. That means the batteries are in the tunnel. However, if you want to still have the right range and the right performance, the sheer number of cells that you have to package into the tunnel determine the length of the vehicle in this case. And this is where the long hood, long bonnet proportion comes from. It's not necessarily a nod to the elegance of the old 60s GTs. Coincidentally, it does allow us to do that, but actually it's driven by performance and by functionality.
Excellent. Now let's have a look at the interior, where I think it just goes to another level. Now, before we hop in, one of the coolest features here is I guess the way that the door works, but there's a reason behind it, and what's that?
Yeah, the reason behind this touch sensor there is that we wanted to hide everything that is unnecessary. We wanted to hide things that normally distract you from the car's beauty and car's shape. And the thing is, a lot of the times designers spend time designing individual objects, designing door handles, designing headlights, taillights, interior of headlights, interior of taillights. Well, we believe that the shape of the car should do most of the talking. And that's why things like door handles, the cameras right over there, they're all flush, they're all integrated, and they don't distract you from the car itself.
Okay, I'm going to give this a try. So we come up and we put our fingers here.
Yes, press with 2 fingers, exactly.
And then release. There's a countdown timer for it. And then the door
safety
comes
feature
up.
for the show car.
That is so cool. That is so cool. There is so much detail there as well.
Absolutely.
That is amazing.
Lots of effort went into that.
So if you thought the outside was good, have a look at this. Sasha, can you walk us through what we're seeing right here?
Yeah, our team, I think, did a fantastic job on the interior. It's really a special place to be. GT interior in general is a special place to be and should be something you can celebrate.
Yeah.
For example, one of the things we try to accomplish is a a lot of the brands at the moment are fighting a battle of the biggest screen.
Yes.
And the GT is not about the biggest screen. It's actually not about the media. It's not about the content. It's not about movies. It is about enjoying the drive, enjoying the cruise, and looking out of the car. That's why we have actually done our best to incorporate as much see-through surfaces in the cabin as possible. The cabin does not have a strong body color roof rail signature.
Yep.
It's a see-through cabin, and the interior helps you celebrate, the cruise, celebrate the drive. This is why the screens are actually relatively minimal compared to some of the other cars on the show. The materials are very important for a GT. The exclusivity and the sense of comfort and the tight-fitting glove, all those things. Luke likes to call it the beauty of white space. So carving things out, making sure that the lightweight component is also illustrated. There's just a lot of great themes that are being explored in the interior.
And then I'm noticing here composite materials that are used
That's
throughout
right.
the car. That's obviously to save weight, and also it adds a textural element as well.
Absolutely, and a conscious decision to stay away from a traditional carbon fiber weave that would perhaps speak more to the tuner crowd than to a refined, high-end, tasteful GT.
Yep. And how does it change when we go forward 10, 20 years into the future where we have autonomy? Do you think that a car like this will ever be a car without a steering wheel, that you just sit in and it drives you?
I don't know about 20 years. I don't know how to look that far into the future. However, today, I really believe that cars should have all the assists that you need. You should be able to leave the steering wheel and then to focus on something else. However, this is the car that invites you to drive. It engages you to drive. It engages you to savor the day and to enjoy the drive. And therefore, the idea of folding the steering wheel away, that just didn't seem right for this car. The steering wheel is our crown jewel, and if you look at it, there's so much beauty there that just folding it away would not do justice to the character of the car.
Absolutely. This is some seriously incredible stuff. To read more about the Genesis Essentia concept, head to caradvice.com. Excellent job.
Pleasure.